Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one and only provider with great might and power. All of these means are but PO boxes. If they stop giving, Allah will just change the PO box. And even though they are of the Muslim countries, particularly in the Gulf, that also give, if I look at what these countries, and we know Qatar has been doing a lot of good work, but still, if I look at the amount of money that they've spent on sport, on the World Cup, Saudi Arabia, don't talk. 2019, 64 billion on entertainment. And now there is an attempt, the pundits are saying, that they want to turn Saudi Arabia into the next Las Vegas for boxing and for other sporting events, Formula 1 and what have you. Spending milyarat, spending billions. And this is something that Mr. Gillis, the previous spokesperson of UNRWA, said. Where are these Gulf states? They're going to have to fill the gap. They're going to have to step up to the plate. And you know what? Jama'at al-Muslimin, and I started myself, wallahi, and if they don't step up to the plate, then we are going to step up to the plate. And all of us are going to put our hands, and I started myself, into our pockets. If it means that a channel can be opened and we can give directly to this aid agency so that our brothers and sisters can be aided and helped and assisted in a time of starvation and famine. Can you imagine that? This is not 1845. You know what happened in 1845? Was the potato famine in Ireland. Over 1 million people died from that famine. And it could have been averted because while the Irish were dying, Britain was still exporting food from Ireland to the mainland England. This is not 1845. This is not even, when was it? 1990 or 1989, 1988? Ethiopia, Somalia. This is 2024. And there are people starving in full view of the world. And instead of still not doing anything about it, they are actually increasing the problem by cutting off aid and cutting off funding. And this is indirect. I mean, if we look at the provisional measures, that aid must now be allowed into Gaza. What do? They stop aid, thereby contravening the Genocide Convention and being culpable and complicit in the genocide. And what can we say but Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is enough for us, and sufficient is He, and excellent is He as a disposer of all our affairs. Jama'at al-Muslimin, this is all about exposing. Allah is allowing this to happen to expose. Remember, nothing happens except by the will and by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيَخْتَارُ مَا كَانَ لَهُمَ الْخِيَرَةُ. Allah creates whatever He wants and He chooses. They have no choice in the matter. So Allah is giving them respite, that they might be exposed. Allah is giving the criminals respite, that they might increase in their crimes, thereby increasing in their sin. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ لِأَنفُسِهِمْ إِنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ لِيَزْدَادُوا إِثْمًا وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. Let the disbelievers not think for one moment that we give them respite. Ons gee vir hulle draad. And the we here is, of course, Damir al-Azama, the pronoun of greatness. Allah is referring to Himself, Jalla fi ula. Let them not think for one moment, the disbelievers, that we give them respite for their own benefit, for their own good. No. We give them respite that they might increase in sin. Since last Friday, up till today, more than 1,000 more Palestinians were killed in Gaza. We see in the Quran, and there are other examples in history, that whenever man has challenged the Almighty, the God of Abraham, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah has been very, very swift in His punishment for people that challenge Him. Even the Challenger. How can you name a spaceship the Challenger? Who are you challenging? Remember what happened to the Challenger? يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان. O assembly of jinn kind and mankind, if you are able to traverse the boundaries of the heavens and the earth, then traverse. You will not be able to traverse except by the authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't challenge Allah. And that's exactly what the war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu did the other day. Just before the ICJ ruling or the provisional measures that were issued, he said, no one can stop us. Ya Rab, arina fihim ajaib qudratik. Allahumma alayka bihim fa innahum la yu'jizunak. Oh Allah, show us your power, Ya Rab. Show us your power against them, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, take them on because they cannot escape you. That's what that dua means. Allahumma alayka bihim fa innahum la yu'jizunak. They cannot stop you, Ya Allah, nor can they escape you, Ya Allah. Arina fihim, show us, Ya Allah. Show us your power with what you are going to do to them, Ya Allah. So the respite that they've been granted, the rope that they've been given, is just enough rope to hang them by their own hands. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَيُمْلِي لِلظَّالِمِ حَتَّى إِذَا أَخَذَهُ لَمْ يُفْلِتْهُ. Indeed, Allah gives respite to the oppressor, but when He takes him, there's no getting away. There's no getting away. And whilst all of this is happening, so Allah's making very clear who are the wretched and who are the righteous. That comes in the next verse. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيَذَرَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ عَلَى مَا أَنْتُمْ عَلَيْهِ حَتَّى يَمِيزَ الْخَبِيثَ مِنَ الطَّيِّبِ. And Allah will never ever leave the believers in the condition that you are in until Allah has first separated the wretched from the righteous. So what do you call people that withhold food and essential aid when people are starving? Are they wretched or righteous? Allah is showing to us, showing to the world, who are the wretched and who are the righteous. And that is the world over I'm speaking about. This is the acid test of humanity, this issue of Palestine. It's the acid test of morality, this issue of Palestine. This is going to cause all the cockroaches to come out of the drain, out of the sewer, and all the termites to come out of the wood. And this is also the defining moment where Allah is showing us who are the true believers and who are the hypocrites within our ummah. Can you imagine, while 2 million people are homeless and on the brink of famine, some of them already starving, are being limited to 100 trucks of aid a day. 100 trucks of aid a day. When the Israeli logistics company TruckNet, did you see that one? TruckNet, the CEO Hanan Friedman, I don't know if it's a he or she, but I was reading the article where this logistics company has now formed a land bridge because of what our brothers in Yemen are doing. blocking Bab al-Mandab and attacking any Israeli ships or ships that are transporting goods to the Zionist state, attacking them in the Red Sea. Not one person has died, by the way. Not one person has died by those attacks. And yet the Americans and the British are already bombing Yemen. A country that literally the people have been on the brink of starvation for the last 10 plus years. And I've traveled the length and breadth of Yemen. Subhanallah. Hum araqul qulub wa alyan af'ida. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ praised the people of Yemen. They have the most softest and gentle of hearts. Al-Iman al-Yaman, faith is Yemen. Wal-Hikmah Yemeni, and wisdom is Yemeni. Wal-Fiqh al-Yaman, and understanding is also of Yemen. Allahumma barik lana fi Shamina wa Yemenina. Oh Allah, bless us in our Sham, Syria. And Greater Sham includes Lebanon and Palestine and Jordan and Syria. Wa barik lana fi Yemenina, and bless us in our Yemen. Whilst our brothers in Yemen, and let us not go into the topic of Tawaif now. If the Russians come tomorrow and offer help to the Palestinians, they're going to take it ala al-ra'si wal-ayn, on the head and in the eye. So let's not talk about sectarianism right now. We will take the help wherever we can get it from to end this genocide and brutal occupation. And so whilst this is happening, Trucknet, an Israeli logistics company, has an agreement with the Emirates. So now they're going into the Persian Gulf, dropping off the goods at Dubai. Then Trucknet, with permission from the Saudi authorities and the Jordanian authorities, Trucknet is now transporting on average about 300 trucks a day, so that the goods that need to get to the Zionist state to keep the economy going is being organized. What is this? What is this, Jamaatul Muslimin? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Jamaatul Muslimin, reminds us in the Holy Quran, وَالْمُنَافِقُونَ وَالْمُنَافِقَاتِ بَعْضُهُم مِّن بَعْضٍ يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمُنكَرِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَقْبِضُونَ أَيْدِيَهُمْ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَنَسِيَهُمْ إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. The hypocrite men and the hypocrite women are of one another. They enjoin what is wrong and forbid what is right, and close their hands. Here they're closing their hands for the believers and opening their hands for the kuffar. And on the topic of enjoining what's wrong and forbidding what's right, in 2016 Saudi Arabia opened the general organization, I can't remember the exact word, but it's basically in Arabic, Hay'atut Tarfi, which is the organization for entertainment. And at the same time, tied their hands behind their backs of Hay'atul Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy Anil Munkar, the organization for enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. So that they can start Middle Beast and Middle Storm, Middle East storm.